Greetings! You're watching Septum Sen vs. the World. I'm Septum Sen, and I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Hi.
We're here with a special last end holiday. I know you all are nursing your hangovers, you've drunk up the last of the eggnog, and you're cleaning up what's left of the gifts, yet you still find those stray tree needles on the floor. Now, we have some nice little hauls for the holiday.
What the hell?
So we're going to be a little bit briefer because this is going to be a pretty extensive pickup.
Yes.
So we'll, say a little blurb, whether we got it as a gift or somehow related to Christmas area, and then we'll just move on. And, a little blurb about what we liked about it and what it was about, and then move on. Of course, this is our last week here at this location for filming. And this week is going to be a great week. This is going to kick off a week of videos where you've gotten pretty much none. Except for my one DVD thing. And you're going to get another one like that tomorrow. I've already got it filmed. It's already scheduled. It's already in the lineup. So we're already good to go for that. To let you guys know what's going on. But Kotobuki Jake and I will be back with this news in 2 weeks. Now, if you like that format that I'm posting, please comment on it. I mean, we could always take that, use that as our news, and then do something more creative, like we're going to dump on Wednesday, which is our picks for films that are important for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I would say let's go into what we've been watching and what we've been doing over this time. Suffice to say, that would be a lot, and we've got a long list of things to cover, so we're going to move on. So I'm going to start us off. This one is not necessarily a Christmas gift. This is more of I saw it online and I wanted to support the creators, and that was 60 Seconds to Die. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the very brief horror movies, such as ABCs of Death, 60 Seconds to Die actually is what it is. It's 60-second little horror films.
So it's an anthology.
Yep. So each one of them is very short. And there are some very entertaining ones there. Mm-hmm. One of the main reasons why I got it is one of my favorite people when it comes to my YouTubers. One of my inspirations, Cool Duder, he is in this. He and another guy, the Cinestalker, he is in this as well. And they have a really fun segment. Though my favorite segment is a group of segments that all take place in a park. And there is one that has to do with rotten fruit. I'm not going to ruin it for you. You need to watch it. So find this, get this. It's a nice little gem, especially if you like the ABCs of Death, which did a little horror movie for every letter of the alphabet.
So the devil fruit?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. So that's what this one is. Again, trying to be brief, so I'm going to move on.
All right. Well, briefly, as we've mentioned before, we do all types of media on here. And for Christmas, I received 2 presents that were not DVDs and Blu-rays, but that very clearly fall under the label media. And both of them came as surprises to me. This was one that I had mentioned offhandedly that I wanted. It was $7 at Best Buy on Black Friday. I almost got it, put it back, mentioned offhandedly that I wanted it, and got it for Christmas. So it's pretty cool. It's the new CD from Beck called Colors, and it features his song Dreams, which I love. It's probably my favorite song he's done.
Like Glenn Beck?
Hell no. And he would probably be offended at that too. Dreams came out, I think, 1.5 years ago. Never got attached to an album. He apparently was dissatisfied with what he was working on, went back in the studio. Eventually, Colors came out, and the song is included. So I'm very happy about that. I don't think I actually had any Beck discs, so this is a new artist for my collection. So that's kind of cool.
All right. So this one is one that's going to be linked to us. I've had a couple of gifts that I ended up giving away and then ending up rebuying because I really wanted to do something nice. And then this one, it is the Angry Video Game Nerd. Now, there are two formats of the series. This is the lesser of the two collectible ones, but it is much smaller. You can hold up that one if you
Much
want to use
smaller.
yours.
Yes,
as that
this
as
is
well.
one of my presents from him, actually. That's the original VHS
You can
copy.
see how it forms together. It actually does form there.
Yeah, try to...
Well, DVD, not
You can-
VHS.
What did I say?
You said VHS.
DVD.
But this comes in, of course, AVGN X3, X2, X, and then, of course, Ready for Revenge, which just came out with this disc because apparently they sent me a letter saying that they messed up on this release, so they sent me the disc that had it all fixed. I love Angry Video Game Nerd. He's a great creator. YouTube channel, awesome one. He was one of the big ones from the beginning, and I didn't hear of it. I hadn't actually gotten into him until this year, and I've been like hooked since.
The actual channel is Cinemassacre, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Cinemassacre. He is a big media nerd, and he really is quite excellent. His knowledge of movies is very well documented. Yeah, you need to check out his channel.
I looked at a couple. I mean, I watched some videos. I have not really launched into this yet. He's much more familiar with the site than I am, but I know the name, and I've watched a couple of the videos here and there. And I will say this: I don't know if this changes. You might know better than I do. In season 1, I watched half of an episode from season 1. I feel like he went out of his way to come up with such a voluminous manner of cursing, almost to the point where he might make Eric Cartman blush a little bit.
Oh, he works on it. He actually writes them up so that he can figure
And
out.
I have to admit, that's not my favorite cup of tea, but it can be amusing at times. He rails on some of the games that he does. But I was quite surprised and impressed. One of the videos I did watch was his take on the recent Ghostbusters, and it was very well spoken and well thought out.
Oh yeah.
And I was surprised partly because so many people failed to be with that
Well,
one.
he's a film school.
Yeah.
He is a
Right.
film school person. He knows what he's doing. He's
Right.
just this is the nerd as a persona.
Right, right.
Well, I guess that went back to you again for your.
Well, well, I don't know. It's up to you. Technically, we
Yeah,
showed one of
because
mine.
it's-
Go ahead and do another one.
Yeah, that way we're not out of there. So this one is attached to my other one that follows it, but I'm gonna. So this one I actually got in the mail. I can't remember who sent it to me, so I do apologize. Somebody can tell you. I was told I need to watch this, and this is Batman Beyond.
I still need to see that.
I am a huge fan of the original animated series, so everybody that I've known who has watched it has told me it is a good series. I had a hard time getting into it back when it did come out because I thought it was a little bit campy, but I thought it was like too marketed.
And the art style is completely different, and it definitely it wasn't the same by any means.
It is something that was cool, though. I was actually very happy to have gotten it. Though.
And in general, DC has been better with the animated features than their live action. Not always, but in general. As I mentioned on our other video this week I watched Teen Titans: The Judas Contract, which was really good original film, and we'll be coming up on another one in my gifts shortly, but we're not there yet.
Titans Go.
My brother got the Teen Titans Go deck building game,
Oh.
and we've been having fun with it, actually. It's a lot of fun. It's insane. It is. It's insane. But at any rate, the other one which came completely out of left field, and I'm actually a little bit annoyed because I work in a library. When a book does not have a due date on it, I don't read it because I have books sitting there that have a due date on them. And I have a very large book collection, but I never get to read it. And so now this book has been consigned to oblivion. I do want to read it, but who knows if I'll get to now. But last year, Martin Scorsese came completely out of left field with a wonderful film called Silence about Portuguese missionaries in Japan. Starred Andrew Garfield, Adam Driver, Liam Neeson. Really good film. Hard to watch, but really good. And so the novel by Shusaku Endo is now in my collection. And my mom got this for me. Again, I really don't know where this came from. I'm very happy to have it, and I do want to read it. I'm just worried that now I have it, I won't read it.
It's in your queue.
Exactly. The endless queue. There's so many of those books. It's like,
Now this one was not a gift, but a gift prompted it. Because Batman Beyond prompted me to get the movie Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. I have heard nothing but critical praise of this film. So I really want to see it more than anything else. So I've heard a lot of cool things. And it was $2 on Amazon. So I've got this one, and I also have the other Batman Beyond movie that was also $2 on its way. I'm hoping to get that before I move. So I am looking forward to this.
While we're on a DC kick, what the hell? I'll go ahead and bring out the the other one. Most of what I got.
Yep.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
Oh, I am enjoying this scene.
Get on with it!
Come on. Oh, there it is. Most of what I got, I did something a little different this year. I focused heavily on trying to get the best films of the year from the past few years, which I have most of those years are, sadly, there's too many I still need to get. But one film that I threw out as that'd be kind of cool, was one of the ones I found in the discount bin at Walmart. I think it was like $6 or $7 at Walmart on Black Friday. They had several of the DC animated features. They and Best Buy had several of them. It's this close to getting Justice League Doom, and for some reason I put it back. But one I did get was Teen Titans. But the one that was given to me for Christmas is another one that's a less than mainstream title that I really am excited about, and I want to see this. And it is the film for Justice League Dark, which I think was also this year. And that, of course, Batman, he's in everything. But you can see there on the cover, you got Swamp Thing, Etrigan the Demon, Zatanna Zatara, Deadman, and John Constantine.
That's a cool
It's
team.
basically the occult part of the DC mythos. I like Zatanna, and I have come to like Constantine. He's a fun character.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing was completely wasted and useless in Batman and Harley Quinn. I hope they use him better in this one. But I'm just very intrigued by this. I've read a couple Justice League Dark comics. Overall, they are an interesting group. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. And again, I think this was a this year release. I think this one, Teen Titans and Batman and Harley Quinn, they were busy this year.
They were busy
So,
this year.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
And sadly, most of them probably better than Justice League. I'm saying this, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Batman and Harley Quinn was better than Justice League, but it was still a disappointment.
So this one, again, this is more of a hunting story that went well. I just finished a review for it, and that is going to be coming up on Thursday. But in the meantime, I can show you Oremo, which I've got here. Now, this is a story of me wanting to get a complete series. I've always actually wanted to get this series because it's intrigued me and repulsed me at the same time. And for those of you who watch my review, you'll see why. Matter of fact, I gave it, for those of you who don't want spoilers about it, skip ahead like 3 seconds, a 7 out of 10.
Barely gave them 3 seconds.
Yeah, I know. But, because it is a dichotomy of it's extremely good, but it's extremely hard to watch at the same time. But this one is the one that is the prize. This is why I got the second one. This one is not a special story. I mean, it was on the Right Stuff anime sale, and it was very good price. It's an Aniplex title.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reason why I say Aniplex charges way too much for their stuff. You got some postcards. You got a little basic book here, but meanwhile, NIS is putting out awesome
and also
stuff.
the box. Look at that box, how thin
Yeah.
it is.
Meanwhile, NIS
Yeah.
puts out some freaking awesome stuff. What's the other one? Sentai is putting out really amazing sets.
And when we come back from this next little break,
Mm-hmm.
because apparently there's going to be one next week,
Yep.
I will show a couple more of those Sentai sets. They're
So-
going to be cool.
So it's going to be really cool, but it's sad that these are costing almost twice as much sometimes. I mean, this normally goes for 100, 150. I really gave bad to that one. This is the one that's out of print. You can't get this. This is why I worry about Dorara 2, is I worry that they're just going to make it out of print, and then I'm not going to be able to get it. I just can't right now justify spending $300 on just DVD. This I found, however, online at an auction. I didn't even realize it was real, but I got it for $35.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, very much worth it.
That was a good deal.
So, this together was under 100. I didn't mean to...
This one was going for what, about 60 or 70 on the Right Stuff?
Actually, 50.
50?
54.
Oh, that's not bad.
So, yeah, this was actually a really good deal. Under 100. I hated to extend it. I was trying to be brief, but that one was a story worth telling.
Okay. So, this one's going to be brief. This is one that I wanted very much. I really still need to get the first series, Avatar. But for Christmas, I did get a copy of the complete series of The Legend of Korra. I've only seen a few episodes
Very
of
good
this.
series.
I've heard it's an excellent series. I loved Avatar. It was a great series. One thing that irritates me about this is we are collectors. We really like quality and stuff that's in high, tip-top shape. And Walmart has a tendency to wrap their stuff with those security things.
Oh, yeah, I see the dents.
And
there,
this
yeah.
one is so dented up, it's not even funny. And it's very annoying. And if I had purchased it, I would never have gotten this copy.
Yeah.
But it was a gift, and I'm thrilled to have this series for my collection. And it's still new.
I need
so
to finish
it should,
watching it. I've watched
Yeah.
the first 3 seasons, and there's one more.
I do still need to get Avatar. Right now, my finances are in shambles, but sometime around middle of the year, hopefully, I'll get the first series. And, God knows when I'll get to watch this, so it's an L. But, yeah.
So this one here, and I will get to actual gifts. I promise you. This one actually was one I have been looking for a while. Also, review up Friday, which is the Nadia Secret of Blue Water motion picture, also known as Nadia the Secret of Fuzzy, which is the dumbest name I have run into for a while. But I upgraded recently under Sentai's sale to the Nadia Blu-ray set, which is a great upgrade from where I was. Even though the old sets had the soundtrack and the movies, it takes up. It's only this plus another another small one, and it's done. Whereas the other sets are that big for half of it, so it's that much.
I have that Nadia set he's talking about, and it's a regular, it's slightly thicker, but it's a regular thick Blu-ray case.
But it is, it's worth getting upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the series if you get a chance. If you like
One day.
Studio Ghibli. If you like Studio Ghibli and you liked Castle in the Sky, think of this as pretty much Castle in the Sky, the series. It
Well,
really acts a lot like that. You see this, you see elements from Castle Cagliostro in it. It is a very good series.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a riff on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, right?
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
So there.
And the movie is kind of, this movie is...
So, again, we're going to do sets that were in, unfortunately, not perfect condition.
yeah.
But it's a cool set. And
It's a
this
rare
is
set.
another one from him. Yeah, this is a cool, rare set. Show that I really, really, really need to see. Kind of like Nadia. And again, one I probably won't get to for some time.
Goes along the sexual predator scene, too,
Yeah, sure.
unfortunately.
But this was apparently an Aniplex Anime Works release. But he gave me a copy, an out of print, slightly beat up, but still pretty cool looking copy of the first season of Rurouni Kenshin.
Good series, though.
Yeah, I've heard that it is a classic series, and just look at that is a very
Oh, it's
cool,
beautiful art
it's a cool
box.
set. But it is the front corner's kind of messed up, and that makes it's hard to close properly. And one of the CD cases, and you see, open it up, and you get these little things. One of these was kind of dinged up too, but just overall, it's just a really cool looking
Very
set.
beautiful artwork on that.
Barely showing it to you. Yeah. Oh, come on. There we go. That's better. But you get the idea. It's a very cool set, and it is a show that is... Kenshin he's still one of the few characters. A few years back, I was inspired to make a list of great anime characters that's woefully out of date, and I've been afraid to tackle it again. But it was inspired by a list on the IGN.com. Where they said the top 25. And Kenshin is one of the few characters on that list that I'm still unfamiliar with. And I need to fix that. But, one day.
Yeah.
But very happy to have started. I do have Sentai released a short portion of the series called the New Kyoto Arc. And I have that Blu-ray. But I haven't watched it yet.
Well, technically, that's a summation of the second season. It's a terrible summation of the second season.
And I don't. And one thing, I'm going to have to try and find a copy of the second season that I probably won't be able to get one that goes with this, but it'll be nice to one day get.
Yeah, it's unfortunately out of print, and because of the creator being caught doing the things he did, you actually realize that he not only had that stuff on his computer, he had it on DVD. It was child pornography, and he had it on DVD. I agree with collecting hard copy as much as anybody else, but there's things that I just don't understand. And this series is as far from the Lolicon type series that you can get. I don't understand it. It is disappointing because this series was set for a revival. The live actions are amazing, but again, separate the character from the creator. In any case, speaking of interesting series that probably are slightly exploitive, we have a Sentai sale, my last tail-end purchase from this sale. I wanted this. I was thinking somebody might get this as a gift because there were a lot of these things, but nobody got it for me. So this is my gift to me, which was the Girls und Panzer complete. So you've got basically 2 OVA sets here, the movie, and the series. All on lovely Blu-ray.
Let me just double check, make sure that none of them. I was confused about whether any of the OVA were on there, but I don't think they are, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is all. I have to wonder about the Sentais, but this is something I have been curious about for a while, and it's actually very well rated.
Yeah, it's
And in
a popular
Japan,
show.
they really love that show. It's like really big in Japan.
I have the first series on DVD for the simple reason that one of those weird, crazy Sentai flash sales had it on sale for $5. And I was like, yeah, but unfortunately I don't have the other parts. And I thought about getting them on this sale, but maybe next year. Hopefully they'll be as cheap. Speaking of Sentai, though, this is actually the only anime other than Kenshin that I have to share this
Wow.
week, which is kind of well, it's all gifts, and no
Yeah.
one bought me anime except for you, really. Every year I give people lists for anime for Right Stuff. This year I did for Sentai, and they always get mostly ignored. It's mostly the other stuff that happens. But this is one that, talking about things not being complete, and I think you said you don't actually have this, right?
Nope.
Because it's not complete.
Yep.
But speaking of revivals, in the early 80s there was a shoujo series about an aspiring actress, and they attempted to revive it in, the mid-2000s, something like
Yeah.
that. And Sentai released the first collection of Glass Mask,
I've heard some wonderful
and then
things
never
about it,
released
though.
the second half.
It's got some very great reviews.
It's supposedly really good. I kind of like these sets, although, is this one of the spool sets?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, I hope not.
I
But,
hope
I mean,
not.
it's a nice,
I
sturdy
don't recall Sentai
collection.
releasing like that.
They did have some spool sets.
Oh,
My
that's-
copy of Maid Sama was
That's
like that.
sad.
But Glass Mask is a very high regarded series. It does make me sad that I'm only going to be able to watch half unless I track down the other half online. I guess I can hope Sentai will eventually finish or another company will pick it up. But I am excited at the possibility of finally watching this half.
Yeah, I also didn't get any anime gifted to me. But we are getting into where gifting territory happened.
Alright.
And that is a number of these I actually gave away out of my collection and then repurchased for myself. Because I was like, oh crap, I've got to give something to these people. So I was told, quick, look at your collection. Look at what you might like. I'm like, oh, okay. And then so I had to get some of these back because they were very important pieces. And this one is a Wayans film called Blank Man. I actually loved this film. It's about a kind of geeky guy who decides he is going to try and be a crime fighter. Sort of like Kick-Ass before Kick-Ass. Not quite as dark and gritty as Kick-Ass, but still, this was a fun series. And Damon Wayans at his better. I actually am sad about the Wayanses because they kind of fallen from grace. But there's been a lot of Damon Wayans is actually fairly talented, which makes it even the sadder, really.
Yeah.
But again, it was a good rebuy. This actually is out of print, so
Alright.
right.
Oh, alright. So, I had stated before on our channel that one of my big goals for the holiday season was to severely up the presence in my TV collection of the recent DC properties, particularly the Arrowverse ones, but also Gotham. And I did get a few of them for Christmas. Unfortunately, there's a couple of weirdnesses. I finally get to add Arrow to my collection.
Awesome series.
Seasons 1 and 3.
Weird.
Well, Amazon did a weird ass sale where 1 and 3 were both like $13 and 2 was like $25. And I'm pretty sure that sale is why I have the 1 and 3. I really would like to get set 2 before I go into 3. But I do intend to watch 1 soon because I've
1
been
is
waiting
awesome.
I've seen bits and pieces of the show. It's time I really launched
Yeah.
into it. The other 2 are disappointing because they're on DVD. And I very specifically and explicitly asked for Blu-ray. Partly because I already have season 1 of Flash on Blu-ray. So now they don't match. Which
Dope.
means I'm going to have to repurchase one of them somewhere down the road.
I'm in that boat too.
I really loved season 1 of Flash, and I can't wait to watch season 2. It is just disappointing that I will have to repurchase it later. And the other one that I don't yet have, so technically I should just start with DVD, but it is disappointing because all the other Arrowverse shows are going to be on Blu-ray, and poor Supergirl is going to be on DVD.
But they're so much cheaper in DVD.
I do
Black
have
Friday.
season 1 of Supergirl, And this is a show that I've been really wanting to get
Yeah.
into. I've seen a few episodes. It's pretty cool. I love Melissa Benoist. I have a lot of hope for her as an actress. And
Season 1 was good.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
I'm looking forward
This
to
was the only season on CBS, right?
Yeah.
And then they moved to CW. Yeah.
I'm
So this
looking-
is technically the pre-Arrowverse season. But
I'm looking forward to Black Lightning because that's a new CW series that's coming out. Yeah. So as you went through these three also kind of had that same theme, which is what I had started before. Again, grabbing stuff and then regifting. So reacclaiming it. One is Remo Williams, which I had gotten for myself a while back, and I didn't even get a chance to open it and rewatch it. But it's one of those kung fu movies from the past. God, what's his name? From Fred Ward from Tremors. But actually, I really enjoyed this movie as a child. I look forward to watching it again. It's a Kino Lorber production, so it's going to be pretty decent quality. Of course, Roadhouse. I mean, that's a Patrick Swayze
I gotta
classic
see
right
that
there.
one eventually.
I need to see the sequel, and I need to see the original film that it copied. And of course, repurchasing the Chappelle Show. Actually, this is kind of a downsize of my original
Whole series,
set because I had the season 1 set, the season 2 set, and the lost episodes, which was what little season 3 went before he decided I'm just gonna take off. So this is actually a nice compact version. All right.
Very cool. All right, so what I have remaining basically is movies, and they're ones that, for the most part, they fit that theme of I'm going to plug in the holes in my best of lists. Starting 2012 is the oldest one that I had readily available. I'm hoping to go back and make some old best of lists. Every now and then I do that, and every now and then I'm just like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And now I wish I'd kept up with it all along. But anyway, of all the best of lists, the one that I have made by far the best headway on is 2012. My list had all the top 20 that I still needed was what I asked for.
Wow.
I only asked for 5 movies from 2012, and I got 2 of them. So I still need to get Ruby Sparks, Amore, and of all things, Wreck-It Ralph. I don't know why I don't have that one yet. But the 2 I did get, I finally got Lincoln.
Yay!
The Spielberg film that was
Richmond.
Daniel Day-Lewis got a well-deserved Oscar for that.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very good movie. Very well done. And I am very happy to finally have it. And the other one I actually only saw very recently, and I have talked about it on this channel because I was so happy about it. This film actually was left in the cold at the Globes and the Oscars, but it was a highly acclaimed film. I had a coworker who told me, you have to see this movie. And about a year later I did. And I instantly loved it. It's actually my second favorite film of the year. And I now have a copy of the French film The Untouchables, which is a really good movie. I described it before on our channel, so go back and watch the old videos.
So I got 2 here from the Right Stuff sale that were. This one was a cart topper, which was. What was it? Van Von Hunter, which is a spoof of a comic by the same name. I've heard of it, and I was curious about it, and it was like $1 something. So hey, what do you know? You know.
Yeah, why not?
But this was one of the bigger ones because Right Stuff has been trying to sell some video games on their site, and I have got the Dot Hack anime, and I've been curious about this. I've actually seen the GU series, the GU trilogy, and this has the 4 GU games, the 3 originals that came out, and then the 4th volume Reconnection that they came out with only for this set. So I'm very curious about this series. I'm looking forward to playing this. This is, varied media, video game.
All right. Next up, I think it's 2013. Yeah, 2013. I don't think I got anything from 2014, which is very disappointing because that's the one where I'm missing the most at the top. 2014 was the year Her came out, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And that was my number one film of the year. I don't have that or Blue Jasmine or some of the others. So that was the weakest year, and it was the one that I didn't get anything from. Go figure. Yeah. Well, I didn't technically get any 2017 for Christmas either. But from 2013, there was a single film, which I've also very recently seen, and I talked about on this channel, and it made my top 20 for the year, and I very much enjoyed it. So I now have a copy on Blu-ray of The Fault in Our Stars,
Oh,
which is it's a very nice movie, very fun. Well, not
I
very
need to-
fun. Well, it's fun at
I
times.
need to watch it. No.
It is worth watching. It is a little sappy and melodramatic at times. It is based on a YA novel, but those are not always bad things. And it was a very worth watch.
All right, so this one is actually a gift I got from my parents, believe it or not. It is a Good Times release, which is sad because Good Times is terrible at their quality, but they're also almost all out of print, which is why this goes for inordinate amounts and sometimes drops below. So I was very happy. Unfortunately, probably they paid too much for it, but it was Cheech Marin's Shrimp on the Barbie. I loved this movie. I watched it over and over and over again as a child. It's Cheech plays this guy who is going to Australia, and he thinks he's gonna, constantly have like shrimps and
Barbies.
and he ends up getting a job at this Mexican restaurant in Australia, and eventually this girl sees him and says, "Okay, I'm going to get my father jealous by pretending that he's actually my fiance." And,
Because that always works.
and it really is. It is a hilarious movie. So if you get a chance, if you see this, pick it up. It is out of print.
All right. My next two are both from 2015, which I've done decent on getting my 2015 releases, but I'm still missing the second best film of the year. I still need to get Bridge of Spies. Very disappointed that I didn't get that. But these two, I think, were both top 10. First of all, I finally got a hold of Ant-Man.
Yay!
One of the
Great movie.
a great movie. I think one of the more underrated Marvel movies. Was very enjoyable. Of course, it introduced a whole bunch of new characters. Paul Rudd was excellent as Scott Lang. Michael Douglas did a great job as Henry Pym, the two Ant-Men. And Corey Stoll made a great villain in this one. I really thought he was a fun villain. And very, very enjoyable film. They only used one of the bunch that I got. But for whatever reason, Disney jacked the prices on all the Marvel films this year.
Yeah.
They're all insanely expensive. I've got a few that I still need to get. Civil War, Doctor Strange,
Actually,
some of the others.
Disney
But
Movie Club. You buy one, you
Yeah.
get a whole bunch of them 50% off. Sometimes it's just the best
I
way
try
to
to
do it.
ignore that most of the time. Every now and then I buy stuff from them.
It's the way I've gotten almost all of
Yeah.
my superhero movies because of that.
Now, the third best film of 2015 actually did get a lot of Oscar love. And if I remember correctly... Shoot, I'm drawing a blank on what actually got Best Picture. Was it that one? I don't
I
remember.
don't think it was Spotlight.
But, yeah, you gave away the title. Anyway,
Yeah, well.
the third best film of the year was Spotlight, which I believe it did get a screenplay nod.
Yeah, it did get a win.
Spotlight definitely is a very, 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 very good film. It's about the the scandal in Boston with the Catholics and their underage thing, and it's about a bunch of reporters who bring that to light, and just really good, phenomenal acting across the board. It's well written and very entertaining film too. So it pretty much all the important parts you would need.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, my father is a bit political,
A bit.
and so he is a big fan of this series.
Mhm.
So he ended up actually giving me the DVD copy of an inconvenient sequel, A Truth to Power. Now I've been wanting to see this, so it's fine by me.
Mhm.
Also, it's as per usual, it's in the recyclable material.
Mhm.
That makes it kind of annoying because it's I'm sure it's going to hurt the DVD like the other one does.
Yeah.
Which to me, yeah, well, you're using fossil fuels for the DVD production, but yeah, it's an interesting effort and it makes sense. I am interested in seeing it. I know you've seen it.
Yeah. Sadly, the only doc I've seen from 2017, but I thought they spent a little bit more time than they really needed to on Al Gore himself. But overall, it makes a good, valid point, which is very similar to the first film, which is basically we screwing up the planet. We need to wake up before it's too late.
Well, it's too late.
And I don't think it's too late. If I thought it was too late, I wouldn't even bother. But it's getting there though. But it's a very not to get too political myself. It's a movie that I think is an important watch, and I'll have to get it eventually, but haven't gotten there yet.
That's good though. I've got that one, and I've got the original. So
the last bit for me, I do have 3 films from 2016
all right.
that made it into my Christmas goodie pile. One of these, like Justice League Dark, was one that I offhandedly commented, although in this case a little bit more pointedly, that I wanted it. It was another one of the Black Friday Walmart ones. This did not make my top 20 for the year 2016, but it came close. And as I have commented on previous videos, I have seen enough films from that year that a top 40, they're all good. They're all good. But this was Denis Villeneuve's follow-up to Sicario, and it was a fascinating head-scratcher called Arrival.
And an Oscar winner.
Which was a big Oscar film. I think it did win, one award?
At least one.
But it was up for quite a few.
Yeah.
And Arrival, to my mind, was partly the Academy trying to make up for Sicario. Because they really gypped that movie. But it is still a really, really, really good film. There is an element of what the hell is going on to this movie that I admit on the first viewing, it left me kind of, I didn't know how to rate it, is basically what it comes down to. It's a very well done. Very well done. It just will need another viewing and probably a couple before I know where it should fall on my list. Like I said, it just missed the top 20.
Yeah.
But it's a really good film, and Amy Adams is great. A lot of press was made of the fact that her lack of a nod was one of the only things the film wasn't up for. Jeremy Renner did a great job, and of course Forrest Whitaker is always solid. The next 2 are very much, one is very much from my top 20, and one just made my top 20. Just inside my top 20 is one of the 2 Andrew Garfield films of the year. We talked about the book based on Silence. I don't have Silence yet.
Strong award.
But he got an award nomination, and there were a few other nominations for the newest film by Mel Gibson, Hacksaw Ridge.
Wow.
Whatever you may think of how Mel Gibson, the man, he is a great director.
Yeah, he is a great director.
And Hacksaw Ridge is a very good movie. Took me a long time to get to see it, but when I finally did, I was very impressed. And it's very well done, and I'm very happy to have this. I would like to get Silence one of these days and have both of those Garfield films, but very good. And of course other people too. Hugo Weaving's in there, Rachel Griffiths, Vince Vaughn. It's a pretty solid cast overall. And then the last one is one I'm very happy to get because if this completes my top...
Oh, I remember that. Now, sorry, you go ahead.
No.
I remembered now which one won last year.
This one completes my top 5 for 2016. I already had Sing Street, Zootopia, Your Name, and Only Yesterday. And I now have the number 4 film of the year, which almost won the Oscar. La La Land. The film that was announced as the winner until we realized that Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway were having an off night.
No.
To put it charitably. La La Land, not everyone loved it. I loved it. I absolutely loved the movie. It was great. It was, again, my 4th favorite film of the year. But of the ones that actually had a chance of winning stuff, and I think it did get, Emma Stone did get Best Actress, right? And I think it won Original Song. Although I still say the 2 songs that were up were great, but they weren't great standalone songs. Start a Fire by John Legend's a great standalone song and didn't get a nod. Go figure. But Legend actually has a fun supporting role in here. J.K. Simmons is great, but of course this film...
J.K. Simmons is always great.
Well, he is, yeah. This one belongs to Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling and the music. And it's a solid film. It's one of the better musicals of the past several years. And it's really cool to have the top 5 of that year knocked out. So, unfortunately, number 6 ruins that right there. I need to get A Man Called Ove. But anyway, yeah, good times.
So the last ones I've got here are gifts I got from my wife over the for the holidays. Only one of them movie-wise, by the way. But again, as you said, this is actually all media, physical media.
Oh,
And the
classic,
first
too.
one is me continuing my Sharknado Fest. I love this series. It's a guilty pleasure, which is Sharknado 5, Global Swarming. I guess this goes along with the Al Gore one. Right
Exactly.
there, right? I remember when Al Gore was predicting the Sharknadoes, and he did a good job of predicting them coming. So we got this out of that. I love the series. I look forward to seeing this. I've seen the other 4. I will be getting into this soon.
I think I only saw the first one, and I will admit, it's an awful movie, but
Well,
it's fun.
And it gets more absurd as time goes on.
Yeah.
So the next one is a graphic novel, which is the Trick or Treat graphic novel. And for those of you who actually have are familiar with the film, this is one of those novelizations that has a basis on. I was very interested in this, so I'm very ready to read this now. I've kind of gone through it. As you can see, the art style is quite varied.
Huh. So it's like by different artists and authors, or?
I'm not sure. I need to look into this and read it more. But it is a very beautiful book, well illustrated. I definitely look forward to it. I might hold off until October of next year because this will be a great read for that time and a good companion for when I rewatch that film again. So, last one. Now, we like to cook when we can, and I've gotten into a series that's sort of a guilty pleasure for my time when I'm just not watching anything, which is Bob's Burgers. But this is the official Bob's Burgers cookbook. So you can actually take and use some of these recipes that he actually has here. Like, let me open to a random one. Baby, you can chive my car burger. They actually put this one up and they made it on, I think, BuzzFeed, which, you've got these little pickles that look like a car there. You got the chives on it. Or let's see here. Let's do 2 more here. I Heartichoke You burger.
Oh, I like that one.
And then To Err is Cumin burger. So this teaches you how to make all of the burgers that he actually puts up in the episodes. So
Sounds fun.
we're gonna be once we get into a bigger kitchen and we can do it, we're going to be experimenting with this. It's actually going to go up to the cookbooks tonight, so it's going to be transported fairly soon.
Are you going to start a cooking channel feature for the...
If you want to see bad cooking.
good times.
So, with that being said,
Mhm.
we are this is our last pickup at this place,
Mhm.
and then we're going to be resuming the pickups once we move the set over to the new place. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, the set. As you can see, the set is kind of blank now. But it's going to be interesting. I'm going to try and make sure I set it up, decorate a little bit better, and I look forward to seeing you all over there. But for this week, you're going to get your fill of this lovely place. And I hope you enjoy it, because this will be your last time.
And hopefully all of you had wonderful Christmas hauls as well.
Yeah.
And got to enjoy the season overall.
Mm-hmm.
And are not mired down in weird weather the way we are at the moment. Yep.
Yeah. But hopefully it'll be a good time in the year. I will have Mezzo. I did finish watching that, so I'm hoping that review will be up sometime soon.
Cool.
And you need to get yourself some good filming equipment so you can get and start doing reviews.
Yeah, I know. There's some stuff I'd like to.
But look forward to our awards talk later in the week. And then, of course, when we come back on Monday, 2 weeks from today, we're going to be talking about the Oscars. So we're going to delay the pickups until Wednesday, because 2 weeks from today, Tuesday, is the nominees.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to get ahead of that, get our predictions as to movies we think are going to get up there, and
I will actually be better versed by then. This won't.
I'll be worse first.
Now, 2 weeks gives you time to watch at least one of the films that you have. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can watch this one.
Well, that'll do it right there. But at least an inconvenient sequel, so you can say you saw a documentary. Yeah. And actually, I've got a documentary at home called Tickling Giants that I need to watch. And actually, I have, again, this won't affect the Oscar discussion, but tomorrow I expect to be able to pick up a copy of Kingsman: The Golden Circle from the library.
Very good movie.
But the one that is going to be an Oscar one, in the next week, I will finally get a chance to watch Dunkirk. So that will be a big one. And I'm still hoping I can get to the theater to see Phantom Thread or 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. And I don't care how broke I am, I'm going to see Mary and the Witch's Flower if it comes to Richmond.
I really want to see that too.
So hopefully when we do our next announcement, we'll have a few more to talk about. But if nothing else, like he said, we like to look at it right before they come out and see how many we get.
So, with that, of course, please like, subscribe, share, and spread the word. Feel free to comment if there's anything you saw that tickled your fancy or ironed you up. And maybe you love Bob's Burgers. Maybe you fixed some of these. Tell me about the burgers you fixed from here. I really want to try the one that he had that was the award-winning one that kind of saved his restaurant.
And I actually was introduced to that show while I was waiting tables in a restaurant, and they would have it on the screens at night, and I would, So it might be kind of fun to actually turn it into real productive food.
Well, the weird thing about the show was that he has a crappy businessman, but he made good burgers. And with that, we'll see you on the next one.